Hi everyone, my name is Victor Sanchez of the United States Student Association. Now yesterday President Obama delivered his annual State of the Union address, commenting on a multitude of issues relevant to our communities. Now as impressive as the rhetoric displayed was, the President's speech was satisfactory at best. It's no lie that President Obama has made great strides during his first term as President, but with all decision makers, by no means have we made effective progress towards the real and bold solutions we as a society and as youth desire and need. The speech outlined some very important pieces relevant to students. For one, the federal government would push for every state to require that all students stay in high school until they graduate or turn 18. The second called on Congress to extend the benefits found in the College Cost Reduction and Access Act, keeping interest rates on student loans from doubling come July. President Obama also mentioned extending the tuition tax credit and giving young people the chance to earn their way through college by doubling the number of work-study jobs in the next 5 years. And finally, with a direct message to colleges and universities, President Obama asserted that if they can't stop tuition from going up, then the funding they get from taxpayers will go down. He ended his section on education with what we personally believe to be a powerful quote that a lot of us can resonate with. He said, "Higher education can't be a luxury. It's an economic imperative that every family in America should be able to afford." President Obama, we couldn't agree more with this statement. Now here at the United States Student Association, we say it a little bit differently. Education should be a fundamental right for all in this country, regardless of socioeconomic background. And although your stance, Mr. President, demonstrates a concerted effort to provide us with reassuring words of support moving forward, we need more. We hear time and time again that our generation is the future. I'm here to say that we are also the generation of now, and that the state of the student union is at a critical crossroads. Within the last year, programs such as Pell and Trio have taken irreversible hits, surviving, but at a level that does not meet the demands of prospective and current students. For example, the purchasing power of the Pell Grant is around 50% lower than it was in 1974. The maximum award amount, although preserved at $5,550, still accounts for less than 1/3 the total cost of tuition at our institutions at best. Furthermore, misplaced priorities have allowed TRIO programs to suffer or be eliminated on some campuses and communities, severing along with it the hopes and dreams of low-income first generation and students of color wanting to obtain a degree. So not only has Congress cut support for programs to get and stay in school, they have also forced us onto a path of indebtedness for a degree we were promised was attainable regardless of finances. Currently, our students are graduating with an average of $25,000 in debt. We are walking across the stage with mortgage-sized loans and no homes. And although you have paid attention to our calls for reforms of the student loan industry, you have not made mention at all about the private sector predatory lending that has left our generation and this country with more student debt than credit card debt. And without bold action, our generation will continue to become worse off than our parents were at our age. To add, there were two more things missing from last night's speech that we, as USSA, feel are very important to the recovery of this economy and the progress of this nation. Although implicitly mentioned, the Federal Dream Act is an issue we all know needs to pass. President Obama made his support of the legislation very clear and urged Congress to pass a more comprehensive reform of our immigration system that included the stopping of deportation of DREAM-eligible students. However, there was no explicit mention of an attempt by the executive branch itself to halt the deportation of Dreamers, something President Obama can execute immediately. If the current trends continue, President Obama will have deported more people during his first term than President Bush did during his 2 terms. And finally, there was no attention brought to the expanding assaults on the voting rights of millions of low-income communities of color and students across the country. Voter suppression or ID laws have been unleashed in what has been one of the most coordinated efforts to disenfranchise voters and limit democracy for all. For example, in Texas, you can register to vote with an expired gun license, but not a student ID. Arguments insist on voter fraud, that we need IDs to purchase certain goods and services, or to get on an airplane. Well, as USSA, last we checked, voting was an unalienable right preserved in our founding documents, not a good or a service. We need more to be mentioned, And although this is a state-by-state issue, the effects are national in scope, and any silence should be taken as inaction. Now, overall, last night's address showed at a minimum some promising signs towards awareness of our issues. The conversation has undoubtedly been jolted by the Occupy movement and pushed along by your efforts. Regardless, we cannot stand satisfied with bits and pieces of good news while the rest of the country and our fellow peers continue to struggle with high tuition, less financial aid, mountains of debt, stalled dreams, unemployment, and the possibility of losing our democratic right to vote. At USSA, we envision a world as it should be, not as it is. And we firmly believe that together, we can demand loan forgiveness for all students. That all those with debt no longer be burdened by the chains of our own success. That the Obama administration end all deportation of DREAM-eligible students through firm executive order. And that as a country, we move towards a system of universal voter registration. Year to date, we have done so much to further the student movement, none of which could have been done without you. But there's still work to be done. Sign the petition link below telling us how much debt you'll be in. And register to attend our 43rd annual Grassroots Legislative Conference here in Washington, D.C. Join the movement USSA helped start since its founding in 1947. Students have been at the forefront of social change throughout history. Let us move forward together and work towards making education more of a right and less of a privilege. Thank you very much.